Hello! Have you ever been on a scrapbooking retreat or maybe any other craft retreat? If you have, you know that it's like an adult sleepover. There's lots of crafting, there's lots of fun, lots of girlfriend time, lots of snacks. And I was just on one a couple weeks ago, and I finished over 20 pages of scrapbook layouts. And tonight I'm going to show them with you. So grab a comfy chair and let's do this. Now, the first set of layouts I have was from a trip up to Salem, Massachusetts back in around 2008. We took a trip up there, we did some sightseeing, and learned a lot of history. I used my Cricut to do a lot of this cutting as far as the words and the witch here. And you can see I even kept some receipts, so those make for fun ephemera if you have them on hand. I'm using a flip flap here to document this old witch house. And again, lots of Cricut cuts. This was the oldest cemetery, and it dated back to the 1600s. It was just fascinating. And my kids learned a lot of history that day. Speaking of spooky times, here's a Halloween layout I did from some Close to My Heart paper. My oldest decided to be a rocker, and my youngest was a little ghost. I used washi tape down here for decoration, and these Halloween punch-outs was included in the kit that I bought. It's very simple, but I think it's really cute. Now, these pages are from Stampin' Up's Sweet Halloween Scrapbooking Workshop. And that workshop is still available on my website as the time I'm recording this. I will link it down below in case you would like to order. And again, I'm going to be adding some flip-flaps with my journaling. And here is the second layout from that kit. And I still have some more to scrapbook. I also need to do my journaling. But this is a great little kit. It includes all your pages, ephemera, and stickers. It was a lot of fun. This layout came from the Gnomes for Fall scrapbooking collection from Close to My Heart. That has retired a while ago, but we always have fun autumn kits that you can choose from, and there's still some on our website. I was also using these additional pages to add in some additional photos. Hopefully Stampin' Up will be bringing those out soon. This layout I had actually already done before the retreat, and there is a video on my channel about this one. It's the Gathering Together Designer Series paper pack from Stampin' Up. I added some retired stamps. This tree is actually, I believe, from the Amber Autumn set, and it was still available at the time of this recording. But these are the layouts I was able to complete, and I still have plenty of papers to keep going with all of my autumn photos. This layout came from the Autumn Toile collection, and it may also still be available. If it is, I will have all the links down below. But as you can see, I did include some Spotlight on Nature dies cutouts. There is a video for this as well. I did incorporate some Cricut cuts, some shimmer trim that was from Close to My Heart, and additional stamps. It was a lot of fun to make. And of course, who could forget the pages of our little one. Again, I used the Autumn Toile, a bit of a different shimmer trim here, and of course the star of the show is our grandson Ace. He is quite adorable. So now we're starting with some winter layouts. This was the Winter Gnomes collection from Close to My Heart. And again, it's long since retired, but I did want to show you how you can do some fancy cutting with your scrapbooking, and maybe mix in some colors you wouldn't anticipate. This was like a blush pink going on with all these blues, and it's really fun to document the crazy things like snow angels and how many inches of snow you got. Unfortunately, this one was a bit out of focus and has a pink tinge to it. But anyways, I didn't want to leave it out just because of that. Now, this scrapbook layout was part of a video that I already have on my channel, which you can find if you're interested. I am adding in some flip-flaps. And the reason why you see them loose like this is because until I put these pages into protectors, I will have them loose. Once they're in the protectors, I will adhere these flip-flaps with their adhesive directly to the page protector itself. This one you might remember, I flipped it around and I used the opposite paper than what the directions came with because I felt it was just a bit too busy the other way around. But you can do whatever you want with these workshops. They're completely yours for the making. You can follow the directions exactly, or you can be as creative as you wish. And here I have a smaller flip-flap, and on the inside of the flip-flap I'll either do some journaling or find another photo to go in there. The last of the Christmas layout right here is the final page of that workshop. I did add in some more shimmer trim that was from Close to My Heart. I've got ephemera and bling from Stampin' Up, and a retired stamp to polish it all off. This one held quite a bit of photos, as you can see, so you can be, again, as creative as you want. Add additional photos with flip-flaps, or maybe just run smaller ones across the bottom. It's just yours for the making. I did find one more winter layout, and this was Ace's first snowfall, and I just thought these photos were precious. Again, we included a photo of him making a snow angel. This was some paper that I had been gifted, and it was not from Stampin' Up, but it was some pretty paper, and I just felt the photos were perfect for it. Easter is approaching, and Stampin' Up does have some Easter papers that you can check out on my website. This was from a kit long ago from Close to My Heart, and I strung the photos along. I believe I saw this pattern on Erin Jacobson's video a while back, and I just thought it was perfect for these Easter photos. Another layout from that Easter workshop that's unfortunately retired from Close to My Heart, but you can see that this has bunny patterns cut out of the top photo, or the top paper I should say, and another pattern paper tucked behind it. So that's how you get that neat look. And then these bunnies were what came out of those sections right there. Anyway, I do have another flip-flap waiting to be adhered to a page protector, and I did do some splatter technique on this. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I used multiple shimmer markers to get that effect. This last Easter layout was from the same pack of Close to My Heart papers, and I cut several strips to make an egg here, and a lot of these are stickers, gems, and zip strips across the bottom. Not too hard, but it was a little intimidating with all those strips of paper. Again, I did some splattering, if you can see that. Now, these papers are from the Everyday Happiness Designer Series paper with Stampin' Up. And I do have a video about that set, and I will link it in the description below. But as you can see, it is all about our little stinker Ace. We went up to Manitou Springs and had a good day. Again, I'm using flip flaps to add some photos. These were all stamps that were retired from Close to My Heart. This again is the Spotlight on Nature die, creating those circles to ground that in there. And anyway, yeah, this one was fun to make, and I'm excited to get it in its final page protectors and get these flip flaps adhered. This layout was inspired by Jayma Malmy. I saw that she used the Turtley Sweet collection from Stampin' Up! To make Disney photos. And I just thought what a win that was. This is actually the back side of pages that have lots of turtles all over them, but it looks perfect for Disney photos. I cut some circles out on my Cricut and stars, and yeah, so that came together quite well, I thought. While I was at the retreat, they had a stash of paper that you could look through and see if you wanted any. It was free for the taking, and I actually found some Mickey Mouse paper in there, so that worked out really well. I did some stamping with some background stamps just to add a little pizzazz to that. And this is a fun memory over 30 years ago when I took my nephew with his mom and dad and my mom and brother, and we went to Disneyland. Now, if you were familiar with Close to My Heart, you might remember that they had a subscription plan for scrapbooking papers, kind of like our paper pumpkin with Stampin' Up! That is for cards, but you could enroll in a subscription to get scrapbooking kits monthly, quarterly, annually, and this is one of them. And again, this is our little Ace. He was so tiny at the time, and got some more photos behind that with a flip flap. Hopefully Stampin' Up! Might have thought about doing that, and my fingers are crossed, but a scrapbooking subscription would really be fun. My final layout is from some old papers, again from Close to My Heart. I'm running through those so I can bring you lots of Stampin' Up! Ideas as well. But nothing is too crazy that there isn't anything similar out there still today. But this is my baby's 5-year birthday. He was all about Thomas the Tank. And you can see I'm utilizing quite a few flip flaps. I did some texture stamps here and some gems. This was a stamp, and I just colored it to match these papers, and I cut the 5 out of the Cricut. This is the shimmer trim from Close to My Heart as well. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed seeing these layouts, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Thanks, and happy scrapping!